Hey guys, it's Raging Demons RPG coming back at you yet again with another topic of conversation. This time, it's all about the starting off your campaign slash adventure slash epic saga, drenched in the blood of your slain enemies, a 2 liter of Mountain Dew, and those little tiny cheese puffs that are about so big. Well, I find that even myself, get a little tired of the usual way in which you want to start off a campaign. Everybody meets in a tavern or a bar or a spaceport or whatever setting genre you're going for. It's a communal place. Um, that seems to be the most common, seems to be the easiest. I think there's something to do with the whole dissemination of the more not dissemination, but more like the imprinting of the Dragonlance Chronicles upon the entire entire gaming community. A little bit of Lord of the Rings in there too. Basically, if you're not familiar with Dragonlance Chronicles, most of the players or the characters involved in the story usually rendezvous and meet up at a place called the Inn of the Last Home, and from there, something happened, and it's time to start an adventure. Well, this is fine, but if you're really not into doing that, might I suggest a few alternatives? Alternative number one. Try slavery. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I'm not saying take slaves. I'm saying make your characters slaves. They basically will have. Well, it's up to you whether or not they should have access to the original equipment they started with. They might be kept separate from them. They might be recently captured, but force them into a situation where they have to get to know one another and need one another to escape. Or yeah, exactly, escape. Or in some cases, slavery can mean gladiatorial arena. So if you've got guys that really like to hack and slash, and you put them into a gladiatorial arena against a few foes for a few rounds, and perhaps they can win their freedom. I don't know. Another way, you could just have a random event that somehow brings all these characters together right from the get-go. Perhaps they're all in the same market district as one another when some calamity takes place, or a pivotal event takes place, like the assassination of a key figure, a magistrate, a member of royalty, a local celebrity, any number of those things. And perhaps the law assumes that they're all involved just because of where they were at the time, wrong place, wrong time type scenario, and kind of go from there, see how that works. Another introduction, particularly in science fiction, that you could run with, aside from slavery and the typical bar meeting, is, well, just basically having them all aboard the same ship, except something happens aboard the ship. The ship itself malfunctions. The ship, basically, I mean, a ship is a great thing in science fiction to go ahead and get your characters together, because they're screwed if that thing doesn't move. It's just that simple. You've got basically an island that they're all trapped on, and they probably will have to use their own skill sets to get themselves free or get themselves out of that situation. Alternatively, I've had this scenario work out where the characters, in fact, owned the ship afterwards because all the crew was dead. So they took salvage, and once they fixed that bad boy up, that was their ship. That was like the party's roving headquarters. And you can get pretty attached to a ship, I assure you, as a gaming group. So that's another idea. And just play around with it. I mean, you could have, if you have one cooperative player or one player that's willing to go along with it, you could have, I mean, one individual be sort of the outcast, and the remaining party members are trying to hunt him down, or are to be hunted by that player. It can add a little interesting flair, as long as you basically make it so that way it's less about killing the PCs because they got that little PC symbol flashing above their head, and more capture. Capture works, and perhaps they'll gain some sympathy with their pursuer, or they'll feel bad for the person they pursued, and instead try and liberate them. There's, as you can see, you can go on and on. It's just try and diversify though. The whole bread and butter standard. You all know each other vaguely, and you're all in the tavern of the bloated goat, or the fainting basilisk, or just, I mean, break away from it from time to time. Otherwise, your games are going to seem very formulaic and stale, and maybe maybe the players won't put as much investment into their characters, and they really don't care if they die, and which of course creates all sorts of chain reaction type dilemmas later on in the campaign. So that's about it for this little segment. If you have any concerns or questions, don't forget ragingdemonsrpg@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer those as I get to them. So in the meantime, keep the rice doling, keep the rice doling, keep the dice rolling, and may your next roll be a critical success. Have a good one.